What's up and welcome back to my YouTube channel, it's JVceo. So today I just wanted to have more of a chat with my YouTube family about the market and about this looming recession. I mean, some say we're already in a recession, which I agree with, to be honest. I think from last 2 years when the quantitative easing started, I think I called it out. I mean, I said, look, coming into 2023, 24, we would see a massive recession because it's not sustainable to bring that amount of money on a global scale and not see, some very negative fallout from it. This video might be all over the place. The reason being because, like I said, I wanted to have a conversation. So a couple of things first. I think we needed this in terms of the market correction in crypto. I think we needed this. Firstly, it removed all the fake profits out of crypto, because if you notice, when the market is green and everything's going well, everyone is very opinionated on where the market should go and what the market should do and so on and so forth. And what I've noticed is since the market has been bad, all the regular people that I see get reposted on my Snapchat, all the regular people that I see talk about the market and talk about NFTs and talk about metaverse, they've been nowhere to be found. Literally nowhere to be found. And I think that is a testament to how much a bear market can throw people off. So to you guys that are following people out there, always trade your plan, always aim to be self-sufficient, number one. Number two, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. For example, you see stocks and pips. We've been there through the market crashes. We've been there when the market was green, been there when the market was red. We've been very consistent. So those are the kinds of networks, or should I say, trading support groups that you should be following, if anything, But anyways, always learn to trade your plan. So that's one benefit. The second benefit is, compared to the last bull run, right? I feel as though this bull run, I don't even know if you call that a bull run because we got to like 69. It was very short as well. It was a very short run. But there's just too many projects, way too many projects. And yes, some of my favorite projects are down heavy. There's a project that used to have like $250,000 in, and now I think I have like £25,000 in it. Down heavy. But guess what? I'm actually happy about it. I'm extremely happy about it because I feel like it shuts down a lot of these useless projects so that when the bull run comes, we can put liquidity to projects that actually have real use cases and projects that work. And also, for those that don't survive the pain, which is this period that we're going through, then we know that they weren't meant to survive in the first place. So that's that. Now, in terms of just everything, initially, I thought that Bitcoin would sort of stabilize around, I'd say 20K, like 18 to 20K was what I initially thought when I looked at the chart. But surprisingly, when I looked at the chart, it was like 4 days, 5 days out. And then 5 days later, it crashed down to 20K already. So that tells me that, I'm very conservative there. I've actually posted something on my Snapchat this morning. For those that follow me, I posted a BTC short trade and I see it going down to the 16,000 range. Potentially, it could go further to like the 12,000 range. But what I see in terms of Bitcoin is I see it going down. And then from there on, I see it consolidating within a range. That range could be sort of like 22 and 16,000, consolidating for a long time. Some of you are asking, what's happening with the bull run? When does the bull run restart? I do think that we see a bull run in about 16 months. 16 months pegs us to the last quarter of 2023. I see that for a number of reasons. Firstly, I think crypto is still the future, for those of you wondering. Secondly, there's been too much mainstream exposure. You've got, from Cathy Wood, you've got Elon Musk. A lot of these guys are holding billions in Bitcoin or billions in crypto in general. And then thirdly, you've got the halving coming up fairly soon as well. So coming up in 2024, I think around April, if I'm correct. So if you go by the previous halving sort of events, you'd see when the bull run started. So that's where I'll place my bet in about 16 months' time. Now is the time to consolidate. Now is the time to raise funds. Also, I mean, there's been a lot of things happening. So, for example, I was justified in my approach. I know friends that hit me up when Strong was doing well. Bro, I could load up 100K into Strong 3 months, I got my money back. And I'm like, bro, just calm down. Just put 10 grand in it. You know, just put 10 grand in it. Because the thing with the market is you're never certain about the market. The only way to be certain about the market is to play cautiousness. Remember that. The only way to be certain about the market is to play cautiousness. Or to throw caution. I don't even know if cautiousness is a word, to throw caution to the wind. And I think now a lot of those friends have come back saying, oh, thank you, bro. I would have loaded this into this metaverse project. I'd have loaded this. You told me to calm down. You brought me back down to earth. Because when the market is green and jumping 30, 40% a day, everyone thinks they can be a millionaire overnight or they can make multiple millions overnight. It's never that easy. And the market always has a way of humbling you. And I think that's what's happened to a lot of people. Now, on a lighter note, I think a lot of people have lost tons of money, myself included, if I'm honest with you. We're speaking openly here. I just think take it easy. Like, don't be so hard on yourself. But also, in earlier videos, when I talk about the psychology of the market, I've always said, look, when the market is going well, use your funds to do things. Do you understand? Use your money. So like when the market was going well, I withdrew tons of money. I bought a large amount of property from crypto funds. Do you understand? I bought watches from the stock market. Do you understand? So I went on a mad run where I bought like 6-7 watches within the space of like 4 months. And a lot of that fund came from the stock market. I'd make 10 grand in a day, I'd go buy a watch. I'd make another 10 grand, I'll go buy a watch, sort of stuff. That's what I did. And I say that to say this. Assuming I started off, let's just use some numbers. Assuming I started off with 10 grand and I turned that 10 grand into, let's say, $500,000, right? Which was very possible to do last year and the year before, right? And I turned that 10 grand into $500,000 and I've then cashed out, let's say, $250,000 and use that $250,000 into investments. If that remaining $250,000 crashes back now to, let's say, 5 grand, I'm still fine because I'm very up on my initial 10 grand. You know, but the problem is a lot of people get comfortable with computer numbers. Remember, until you lock in your gains, you are not in profit. I'm dropping a lot of one-liners here. Remember this, until you lock in your gains, you are not in profit. It looks good on the computer. It looks good on your phone. It looks good when you post it online. I've been there. Trust me. Like some of the stock plays that we had last year from CLWD, CBBT, that's Cerebane, ATVK, and a couple others. We made tons of money. On some of these projects, I had £100,000 on it, you know, £150,000. In fact, CLWD, I probably made at least, honestly, I probably made at least 120,000, but I never really cashed it. So what happened was I went like 100%. I was like, nah, I need at least 3x to cash out. It went back to my original entry. Then I went back to 100%. I was like, nah, I know where it's going. I know the news. I know the fundamentals. Just greed. I never cashed out. And it done that like 4 times. And then the next time that it went back down, it never went up again. It just shut down from there. And then the stock markets got frozen, or a lot of the stock plays, penny stocks got frozen on trading 212. You know, so I say that to say, greed is the killer of man. You're better off cashing £1 profit, man. Honestly, you know. And when I say profit, I mean financial profit and mental profit. Because there's nothing worse than being destroyed by the market. You're better off cashing out at an even than be destroyed by the market. Listen, I've missed plays. I've missed plays that could have made me a millionaire, for example. Like, I'm not saying I'm not, but I'm just saying, like, plays that one play would have netted me $1 million there and then. But I've never regretted it as much as regretting plays that I held for too long. You know, so you might miss a play. Oh yeah, that play done 1,000x. Oh, I could have put 10 grand and made however much. You know, but you would never regret that as much as a play that you had 10 grand in, it went up to 200 grand and you just never cashed out, and now it's crashed back down to 5 grand. Now, I think it's important that when we look at the market, we don't just look at the market. We've got to look at the market, we've got to look at like the crypto market, then you've got to look at the stock market, because they all have synergies. Like, I think last year when the crashes were happening, like in the summertime, like the little crashes, what you noticed was whenever the crypto market cap was going down, stock was increasing and vice versa. So money was flowing laterally throughout both sort of financial institutions, if you want to call it that. But now I think it's time to look further than that. We have to look at what's going on in politics. We have to look at world news. We have to look at even the property market. Funny enough, Elon Musk actually commented on a post. You know the post where like there's a guy holding an axe. I try and put up a picture of it now. Guy holding an axe and like sort of walking. I think it's biblical in terms of the Passover. I think it's a Passover story. But anyways, it shows that stock has been killed, crypto has been killed, and now the guy with the axe is walking over to property. And I think property will be the next thing to be hit. So, you know, I think just overall, it's time to be cautious. And that's why I always talk about having a life outside of crypto. You know, I've seen a lot of people be stressed. I've even heard of people committing suicide, maybe not in the UK, maybe abroad, I'm not too sure. I'm going to say, look, it's never that bad. Even if you've lost your life savings, it's just a learning, you know. Never invest more than you can afford to lose. But more importantly, have something, have a real job outside of crypto, have a real business outside of crypto, because you can't throw the kitchen sink at it. You would always lose. The market would always have a way of humbling you. But yeah, I think we're going through some very difficult times. I think you're going to see the whole space crash. In fact, the watches are crashing. You know, everything's crashing. But I think we needed this reset because certain things were extremely unsustainable. You know, people were like creating projects out of the blue, crypto projects out of the blue, and making crazy X's on it. And I think these are things that hurt the market. You know, watches are quadrupling, 6x and 8x in price, and going up by 4 grand overnight. And I think that's not sustainable either. You know, you go property shopping, and sellers are not even fussed because they know that, you know, there's always going to be sellers, and you're probably going to get gazumped and outbid, you know. And I don't think that's a healthy sort of space to be in, especially with everything that's happened with the pandemic and everything. But yeah, so this is more of a video. I think is more of an overview of what I think is going on in the market. For me personally, I'm just working on cash generating businesses right now. I'm in Africa at the moment. I'm working on sort of extending my reach here, building my network here, and then seeing what comes out from this region. But the space that I want to be in 5 years, yes, cool, I want to make money from crypto, a lot of it, of course. In fact, I was having a word with someone and I said, I hope to be able to fund my yacht from crypto. I'd love to own a yacht in my early 30s. I'm putting it out in the universe, right? Like 31, 32, 33, that sort of range. And I'd love to fund that from crypto. So, you know, by all means, may the crypto gods bless me. But also, 5 years from now, I see myself actually owning real businesses, like hotels, estates, you know, digital businesses, and so on and so forth, and, you know, having a real connection to the business world and not just crypto. I think people's error is that they become too heavily dependent on quick money, to the extent now that when I speak to people in business terms and I tell them, oh, right, this business is a fantastic business, you can do about 30% a month in profit, you could do about 20% a month in profit, they're like, what? Like, it doesn't sound like nothing to them. They're like 30% a month. Like that's not good, you know. And I think that was caused by, you know, the exponential growth within the crypto market, where people could put in 10 grand and come out of 100 grand in like no time. But don't be lazy. Get back to the basics. That's the whole purpose of this video. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. Thanks for staying locked in. Look out for my next video. I'm going to answer everything about what's going on with me right now. Thank you.